Hey everyone, it's Chainsaw12 here, and welcome to a special review this Saturday of the Black Dahlia Murder's Ritual. I know this is maybe over a year late, or maybe less than a year late, but anyways, I wanted to review this album because I felt like this album went back to the nocturnal roots. I know that they released an album in between Nocturnal and Ritual, but I felt like Ritual, this album, just really... I felt like they took it back to what I was known from the Nocturnal sessions, where it just felt like that type of mood, and it really showed on this album, like, in my opinion, of course. But let me jump off into the track listing and the people who played on this album, and real quick before I jump off into that, if I mispronounce anything, you know, don't bash or hate on me. I'm not really good with these weird names and these weird titles that just have words that I just don't say every day, so it is what it is. But Black Dahlia Murder are known for having titles and songs that are just out of the ordinary, just weird. Anyway, so let's jump off into the track listing. A Shrine of Madness, Moonlight, Equilibrium, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, On Stirring Seas of Salted Blood, Conspiring with the Damned, I don't know why I messed that up, that's so stupid, The Window, Carbonized in Cruciform, I hope I'm saying that right, Den of the Picquerist, I don't know, Malenchanments of the Necrosphere, The Grave Robber's Work, The Raven, Great Burning Nullifier, Blood in the Ink. So sorry if I mispronounced any of those, but that is the track listing, up to 12 tracks, clocks in at 45 minutes and 27 seconds or around there. Here's the personnel, and I'm going to go off and say that if I don't say the last name of the person, I'm automatically just not going to even try because I might screw it up. But Brian on rhythm guitar, backing screams, Ryan Knight on lead guitar, Shannon Lucas on drums, Trevor on lead vocals, and Ryan Williams on bass guitar. And this was produced by Mark Lewis and Jason Sukoff. I don't know, I just threw that in there. But I know I've been rambling on about this, but basically this album, like I said, brought back to what I loved about the Nocturnal record, because it had a lot of those melodic moments, had those fast-paced moments, it had those blistering fast-paced moments with the blast beats and the really heavy guitar riffs. And one song in particular I want to point out right now, On Stirring Seas of Salted Blood. I don't know why I'm saying that, I'm just totally out of it. But that song starts off with a really heavy, low riff, and it just sounded so, like, just hardcore. I was like, wow, this is actually a really, it's different. It's different from what I'm used to hearing from a Black Dahlia Murder song. I'm used to hearing them playing some really technicalized, heavy riffs, and then having, the typical Trevor going over with some high vocals and then some low growls. But it took that step of where it was just a heavy, fast-paced riff, and it was different, in my opinion, from a Black Dahlia Murder song. But what this album gives you is, if you know Nocturnal, which I think is their most famous record, because it was when they finally got that sound they wanted to get, it really stood out to me. And it was just like the guitar tones, the bass tones, the drums, the vocals, when they mixed all that together and had that sound, that was the sound of the Black Dahlia Murder. It was the unique sound of the band, and I felt like, what was their release? Deflorate, I hope I'm saying that right, was the record in between Nocturnal and Ritual, but I felt like that album had its moments, but I felt like in this Ritual album they went back to that Nocturnal effect and really shined. I mean, Deflorate did have a lot of, the moments from Nocturnal, but I felt like Ritual, it's like a part 2 of Nocturnal, because it feels like a Nocturnal record. That's what it feels like to me. And just like some of the high moments on opening of Den of the Picquerist, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, probably not, it's the shortest track, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds, it jumps in with starts off with a drumming pattern, and then the bass, and then bass guitar, bass guitar, Ryan Williams, sorry about that, jumps in on bass and has this really cool thing, and then they jump off into it. It's just a short Black Dahlia Murder song. But so sorry about talking about the song. Let me talk about the production quality. So if you've known from Nocturnal and you know that production quality, you know how that sounds, the way that Black Dahlia Murder went for that sound, it's brought back in Ritual in full effect. It sounds like the production quality is a lot more cleaner on this record than Nocturnal, of course, but it feels like Ritual, they took themselves to go, okay, so let's write some different type riffs. Let's write some more hardcore riffs. That was on, of course, track 3 that I was talking about. I don't want to say it again because I might screw it up. But I feel like this album just took the band in a direction of, okay, so we've done Nocturnal, which was our sound. Like, that was officially our sound that we're known for in records. So we have that. We have Deflorate, which came out 2 years ago, before this one in 2011. So we have these two albums that have stood out and have these unique guitar riffs, these really awesome melodic solos, these really fast-paced solos, these insane double bass and insane drumming from Shannon Lucas, these insane bits, with all the members of the bands coming together, writing these really technicalized, heavy riffs and these really heavy songs. So what do we do to add that effect? What do we do to make it better? Well, let's write more technical riffs. Let's write more technicalized songs. Let's add more variety of stuff in our music. And they did with the opening of a track. I can't remember the track off the top of my head, where they had these acoustic guitar comes in, and then it finally kicks in with the typical Black Dahlia Murder riff, the fast, heavy-paced technical riff. But one thing they did at the end, Blood in the Ink, the final track off the record, they have violins. Not in the beginning of the song, not in the middle, like the music stops, or not at the end. In the chorus, they have violins, and that's crazy. But it's also really a change, because you don't hear a lot of violins in this type of metal. You do hear violins in like rock operas or something like that, but you do not hear violins in music like the Black Dahlia Murder, or let's say like Whitechapel. But the Black Dahlia Murder, just like, hey, let's add violins. And of course it's the ending track, so they wrote, you know, like, I guess they took some of their best stuff that they wrote in the sessions and basically created Blood in the Ink, because I feel like Blood in the Ink is the high point of the record, of course, because it finishes off, but it feels like that song just really stood out to me. And a couple other songs. Let me tell you my highlights on this album, to let you know what personally my favorites. Of course, is Moonlight, Equilibrium. I'm probably not saying that right, but it's the single they released. That was one of the high points. On Stirring Seas of Salted Blood, I'm probably saying that wrong. That was one. The Window, Den of the Picquerist, the 1 minute 30 track that I was talking about earlier. Malenchanments of the Necrosphere, hope I'm saying that right too. The Raven, Great Burning Nullifier, and Blood in the Ink. Those are my highlights. Now, the other songs, I'm not bashing on them. They were good. I just felt like the ones I said are the high points in this record. It made me remember Nocturnal so much, because that's what I really went back to when I was listening to this record. I'm like, these songs feel like they could be on Nocturnal. So if they re-release this with Nocturnal, it'd be like Nocturnal, and then Ritual, but under Ritual, it's like part 2 of Nocturnal. You know, it's just like, that's what it feels like to me. Hold on a second. Ugh, sorry about that. But this album just really makes me remember a lot of the older stuff that they wrote, and they really stood it up. And this shows that the band's not running out of ideas, because they come up with more amazing technical riffs, more amazing guitar work. It feels like the solos on this record, they took more time out to make these solos better, and that's what I really enjoy about this band, is because every single record they put out, they have better and better and better solos, because they're not really known for their really amazing guitar solo work, but they're known more for their technicalized riff, their hardcore riffs, their hardcore fast-paced songs, and sometimes their melodic harmonizing bits. But I felt like this band took it a step further to show off their guitar solo work, to show off that they can write really good guitar solos, and they did. So that's the record. So basically the gist of all that is, if you love Nocturnal and Deflorate, and you just really enjoyed those records, and you've not heard Ritual, which you should have by now, since it's been out for probably more than a year now, but Ritual is a great album. It really reminds me a lot of Nocturnal, sometimes Deflorate, but I feel like Ritual went back to that effect of what Nocturnal gave me, and what made me love Nocturnal in the first place. So this album is going to get a good 8.5 out of 10. I felt like maybe some of the stuff could have been changed up a more melodic way, but other than that, there's nothing really wrong with the album. It's not for everybody, because a lot of people are probably going to listen to this album and think, wow, I've already heard the stuff from Nocturnal and Deflorate, you know, changed up more. So they did some changes, but in all, some people are going to be thinking it's repetitive. But in my personal opinion, I think it's a good 8.5 out of 10. It would be higher, but I felt like that the band just didn't really make a lot of changes, but it just made me love the older stuff, but it didn't really give me a lot of changes to make me go, oh wow, this album is, you know, better than blah blah blah. It just stayed in that same realm of what a Black Dahlia Murder album is, and hopefully in the future, when they come out with a newer release, that maybe they'll do some more changes and maybe take their potential to the next level, to make crazier and even faster, or just maybe even a more melodic, or basically show off their talent more on a new record and basically just make it just a step up above what they've done on Ritual. So that is the album review, guys. So make sure, as always, you comment down below. Let me know what you personally think is the best track off this album, or what you feel about this album in comparison with the older records of with Deflorate and Nocturnal. So let me know about that. And as always, guys, like the video and subscribe for more metal videos. Wow, I'm screwing up. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys on Monday.